Biblical calendars versus Roman Gregorian calendar. Biblical religious New Year, according to Exodus 12 and 2, God established the month of Nisan, which is the month of Abib. Or if you go into the Paleo, it's Abayab. Around March/April as the first month for religious purposes, making feasts like Passover. Biblical Civil New Year. The ancient Israelites also recognized a Civil New Year in the fall, Tishri, which became Rosh Hashanah, a time for reflection. Roman influence. The January 1st date originates from the Roman calendar, named after Janus, the Roman the god of beginnings, and was solidified by Julius Caesar's Julian calendar and later Gregorian reforms. The biblical Civil New Year, that's not an actual New Year. That's what they call Rosh Hashanah is the feast of trumpets, the blowing of the trumpet. That would be in the fall season when harvest season is over, and that would be your end gathering, where they pretty much gathered up all their crops because the harvest season is over. So you'll gather up your crops in preparation for the winter season, for the winter months. So that's not a new year. It's not an actual new year in the biblical calendar. It's just to symbolize that it's a changing of the season. Harvest time is over, and now it's time to gather up what the crops have produced. So you gather up your harvest, and you store it, put it away for the winter months, and you will basically you'll hold on to that, give that out as ration it out to the and until the new year comes, where spring comes in and your crops start to grow again. Why January 1st became standard? Roman tradition. The Romans linked the start of the year to political and religious cycles, making January 1st significant for new councils and military strategy. Gregorian calendar. Pope Gregory XIII's 1582 calendar reform, which the U.S. and much of the world adopted, officially set January 1st as the start of the new year, aligning it with the Roman tradition. In conclusion, the January New Year isn't biblically mandated, but it is a historical legacy of the Roman calendar that became globally dominant, while the Bible points to spring and fall, which is wrong, as beginnings for different purposes within ancient Israel's own systems. Well, yeah, I guess you could say it's a beginning of fall, spring and fall as beginnings, but beginning of your winter months is the fall, so that would be your end gathering. Your spring is when your harvest starts to blossom, is when your crops start to grow again. It's when the green trees and the grass and the flowers start to blossom and bloom again. So basically, they letting you know that we live in the second leg of that Roman Empire. Call Allah Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakahakradash. Double honors to the elder apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone who rule well for teaching his word in truth and sincerity. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. To USA Shalom. Our people, the true biblical Israelites, which are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you'll find any and every excuse to celebrate some pagan-ass day, some heathen-ass holiday, you know. And the funny thing about it is you could be told that is wrong. You could be given scripture and shown that it's wrong. You will look it up yourself and see that it's wrong. And you'll still celebrate that shit. You know what I'm saying? And this goes back, all the way back to our exit out of Egypt. Just stiff-necked, disobedient, you know what I'm saying? Lovers of yourself. Want to do whatever, you know what I'm saying, lustful thing you desire. And you know what I'm saying? And the Lord gonna handle you for that. You know what I'm saying? He gave us clear instructions. And he's been patient, if you haven't noticed. Because some of you, because a lot of us, or matter of fact, all of us are still running around. You know what I mean? He could have easily just taken us out. You know what I'm saying? But the man, you know what I'm saying, the Lord is a man that he doesn't lie. You know. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai doesn't lie. He can't lie. His word is immutable. So he's gonna hold to his word and his oath that he laid down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which extends to through their bloodline, which extends to us. 1/3 of Israel will make it out of this. I know, you know what I'm saying? We'll make it out of Babylon's nuclear fallout. You know, 2/3 of our people gotta get punished. They gotta be reborn again. They gotta go through that fire because they just don't seem to want to give these things up. You know, all year long here in Babylon, there's some wicked ass pagan holiday. You know, and it all starts off with this silly one right here, a fake New Year. You know, this is Deuteronomy 9. I'm gonna read 7 and 8. Remember and forget not how thou provokest Yahweh thy power to wrath in the wilderness, from the day that thou didst depart out of the land of Egypt until ye came unto this place. Ye have been rebellious against Yahweh. Also in Horeb ye provoked Yahweh to wrath, so that Yahweh was angry with you to have destroyed you. Do you get that? Do you understand that? You know? I'm going to read same chapter, Deuteronomy 9. I'm going down to 13. Furthermore, Yahweh spake unto me, saying, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Verse 14. Let me alone that I may destroy them and blot out their name from under heaven. And I will make of thee a nation mightier and greater than thee. Like, I don't think y'all really understand. See, I don't really think, I know they don't. I know 2/3 of our people just don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? We were on the verge of being destroyed in the wilderness for our disobedience. Nope. But you know, I get it. You don't study. You don't put forth the effort to do the work. The time that it takes to study and look up words and get the meaning of what the Bible's actually saying. You rather listen to your wacky-tacky preacher, pastor, whoever the hell it is you're listening to, instead of you know, actually getting the word from people that actually know what the scriptures are saying. You want to hear smooth things, you want to hear nice things, you want to hear this love doctrine and all this other nonsense. You want to hear this prosperity doctrine where if you give a couple of dollars, you get $1,000,000. You want to believe in your mermaids and your hell and all this other fucking bullshit. Like, you can go right on ahead, man. But the Lord gonna tear your ass up. The Lord Yahweh Bash and Yahweh Shai got something very, and he got something hot in store for you heathens. Wickedness of our nation. Let's see. This is Exodus 13 and 4. This day came ye out in the month Abib. So I'll read up the verse before. That's Exodus 13 and 3. And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of the hand of Yahweh brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib. When we came out of Egypt, that was a Passover. That was the month of Abib. So the Passover is in the first month of the year. That is the month of Abib. I'm gonna go into Exodus 12 and 2, and it reads, this month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. So this is the month of Abib that is talking about. This is the month of the Passover that is speaking of. So your new year does not begin on January 1st. You shouldn't be celebrating New Year's Eve going into from January 31st going into the 1st. That's a heathen holiday. That's a pagan holiday. It's not scriptural. And I read to you from the AI overview where that shit comes from. It's part of a Roman culture. That's not our culture. Even if you don't think you're an Israelite, that shit ain't your culture. That's an Edomite culture. So let's go on to let's go to Deuteronomy 16 and 1. Observe the month of Abib, and keep the Passover unto Yahweh thy power. For in the month of Abib, Yahweh thy power brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. So let's go look up that word, Abib. Because our people are really stiff-necked. And they have to be, hand-walked through everything. Even though the scriptures tell you to prove all things, but our people, they need to be hand-walked through everything. Like, gotta change your diaper, gotta feed you, gotta burp you, So that's Strong's H24. And Abayab. And it reads fresh, young barley ears
barley, month of ear forming, of greening of crop, of growing green, Abib, month of Exodus and Passover, March or April. So we already read where Yahweh said that that was the first month of our year. That's the beginning of months for our calendar year. So this is letting you know that when that is, because of the greening of the crops. That's when your crops start to blossom and bloom. That's when the flowers and the trees start to grow their leaves again and start to bloom. That's the beginning of your harvest season. Let's go on over to Exodus 32 and 9. And Yahweh said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. And that's exactly how our people are, man. They won't believe it, and you know what I'm saying? They won't believe what you're telling them until some, you know what I'm saying, until an Edomite tell you, man. Just like the apostles say, man. That's like Apostle Jahar would say, man. Like, our people will not see it until an Edomite confirms it, you know, or tells them that it's so. You know, that's gonna lead right to your first class ride on a missile. That type of logic, that type of behavior, that type of rationale and thought process. This is Acts 7:51. Ye stiff-necked and uncircumcised in heart and ears, ye do always resist the Holy Ghost, the Rakakradash, as your fathers did, so do ye. Yep, yep, stiff-necked and uncircumcised. That means you haven't learned the thing. You know what I mean? You still uncircumcised, man. You haven't got you don't understand the word. You uncircumcised in the heart. You uncircumcised in your mind. You can't get this thing. You uncircumcised in the ears. You can't hear this thing. You know. So when it's told to you, it just goes in one ear and right out the other. It doesn't stick. You know. You still have a plantation slavery mentality that massa is right. So until massa tell you that it's so, you ain't gonna believe what what I'm saying was being told to you. Let's go on over to Numbers 28 and 16. And this is just another example of the Passover being the first of the month. You know what I'm saying? In the first month of the new year. And in the 14th day of the first month is the Passover of Yahweh. You know, it clearly says it several times. It's reiterated, and it's also giving you what high holy day is involved in that time period. You have the Passover, you have the Feast of Unleavened Bread, you have you have Pentecost during that time. So it's like you're given instructions, but yet you don't want to follow them. You know, you want to make your own rules. You want to enjoy, you know what I'm saying? You want to fill your own belly. You want to do whatever is pleasing to you, but don't take into consideration what's pleasing to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the key to your salvation out this mess that's about to happen. Because, 2026 is about to be mayhem coming up. You know what I mean? This is going to be the beginning of mayhems, man. You can see it, man. Before this year ended out, presidential memorandums was being signed off as, you know what I'm saying, solidifying, you know what I'm saying, guideline, you know what I'm saying, pretty much guidelines for that MOTB and if you start, if you know what I'm saying, if you want to like quote unquote talk crazy about what's going on, you know what I mean? So they coming down, man. They coming down on the people, man. It's about to get real. It's about to get bugged out here. But our people not gonna listen. They're not gonna see it until it's, you know what I'm saying, right up in their face. And by that time, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna try to run to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. You're gonna try to remember those names if you're still calling upon them pagan names. And good luck. This is Leviticus 23:5. For the 14th day of the first month, at even, which is the evening, the day starts in the, you know what I'm saying, the new day starts at sundown. Just in case you've missed it. So I'll read it again. Leviticus 23:5. In the 14th day of the first month, at even, is Yahweh's Passover. Once again, in the 14th day of the first month, at even, is the Lord's Passover. At even is Yahweh's Passover. So, the first month of our year starts in March/April. It's the month of Abib. That's when the spring weather starts to come in, when your crops start to grow. That's when the year starts. It doesn't start on January 1st. Sometimes people get, kind of, I guess they'll get upset with the tediousness of it, or, the reiteration of things. But it has to be done because you're not getting it. You know what I'm saying? People out there fucking wearing diapers and tampons and shit like dudes. That shit is ill. To talk about you gonna stand out there for fucking several hours to watch some stupid ass ball drop. Yo, man, a missile should have hit that shit that night, last night, man. All y'all motherfuckers should have got blown up with that shit. No lie. Because that shit is nonsense. This is 2 Timothy 3:2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Verse 3, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. See, you think you're doing good, but it's not according to knowledge. You think you're smart, but it's not according to knowledge. That video that I saw yesterday, a Edomite had a damn tampon, so he could pee in that shit for hours. So he went. Was like, once you out there, you can't go nowhere. At least Moab nasty ass had talking about they had diapers and shit. You know what I'm saying? At least a diaper can hold more fluid and whatever else. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is wild. It's wild nasty. That's wild. That's wild. To partake in some heathen ass holiday. But then you had, you know what I'm saying? You had many of Jakes that didn't even go out there. They didn't even participate in that. They had their own little silly ass house parties where they got drunk out their mind, smoked out their mind, ate all sorts of abominable foods. So it's like, pick your poison with heathenness, pick your poison with wickedness. I'm going over to Amos 5:21. I I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Yo, man, the Lord, how about Shem Yahushua telling you straight up, man, he not with that shit. He not with none of that bullshit y'all partaking in, man. It doesn't matter if it's New Year's. It doesn't matter if that funky ass Easter. You have a Passover, but you want to play with some stupid shit called Easter. You know what I'm saying? You want to play with some whack ass Valentine's Day. A fucking butt naked Edomite baby with wings talking about he's shooting you in the ass with love arrows. Come on, man. Y'all full of shit, man. You got a gang of heathen holidays. They even got a website dedicated to that shit. Every day here in Babylon is another wicked ass day. You play with that. You play with that Halloween shit. All satanic shit. You play with Thanksgiving, celebrating the slaughter of our people. And you play with that stupid ass made up Yahweh Shai birthday crap. Talking about December 25th is Yahweh Shai. Nah, it's not. You know what I'm saying? Y'all wicked as fuck. And most likely Yahweh Shai was born around the time of the Passover. You know, that's scriptures for those are scriptures for another day. But most likely he wasn't born around no damn Christmas. I'll tell you that. So it was most likely it was sometime around us, somewhere around the spring. But it damn sure wasn't around Christmas. So you Jake so wicked, man. You follow after every heathen custom that's out there. Let's go to Titus 1:16. They profess that they know power. They profess that they know God. I read that again. Titus 1:16. They profess that they know God. They profess that they know power. But in works, they deny him, being abominable and disobedient unto every good work reprobate. Yep. You hear a lot of people talk like, "Yo, I love God. I love God." But how do you show it? You know, you know. You still participate in these heathen days. Every wicked ass heathen day you can get yourself involved in. You're involved in it. You don't take in consideration that you've been given a pagan name, a pagan image to worship. You've given false doctrine to work with, to memorize and spew out your mouth to other people. So it's like, you can't possibly love Yahweh Washing Yahweh Shai because you don't know his name. You can't love the Lord. You can't love quote unquote God. You don't know his name. That's the beginning, man. That's part of the beginning. Fear is the beginning of knowledge. Fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But yeah, okay, after that, you don't even know his name, so you can't fear him that much if you don't know his name. You can't love him that much if you don't know his name. But our people are wicked, man, and they take pride in their wickedness. They use, you know what I'm saying? They wear their wickedness on their shoulder like a badge of honor, and then lie to themselves, about their loyalty to the Most High. This is Jeremiah 4:22, and I'm gonna end it with this. For my people is foolish; they have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Baratazah. I hope this was edifying. Call Lo Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakahak Radash.